Hey there, YouTube. Destructible here today, and we're finally here with my survival guide and my cat. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoy this footage. If you do, please leave a like, subscribe, all of that stuff. And yeah, I'm gonna let the video play now. First off, I want to mention all things for new players to take into account when they start playing Grim Dawn, and we're going to cover pretty much all of that and everything you need to know. There's two choices in difficulty when you start Grim Dawn, which is normal and veteran. You can choose between the two, but veteran has no reward other than being more challenging. I did this myself when I played, and you can choose if you'd like to do this yourself when you play. Now that you're in the game, let's cover some of the quick basics. Like most RPG games, there's quests given to you. Some of these quests in the future are going to reward you with attribute and skill points towards your mastery. And I suggest completing all these quests if this is your first time. There's a reputation that you gain and also gain with enemies, but it's more like a hatred bar. So keep that in mind whenever you're going to these cities, that you're checking these out, and when presented with the opportunity, that you choose wisely if you are forced to choose between factions. And I'm not going to try and ruin any more lore or any spoilers for anyone, so just keep that in mind. Builds to find your character. So when I say that, it just means everything about your character is going to come down to your build. So if you like, you can take a look at builds that me and other people have done. For instance, I just did a recent build called Acidic Touch, and this build does a lot of retaliation damage. It's really good. However, it does lack a bit of defense due to the way I had built it. And in result, I get crit hard and end up dying pretty fast. You know, you may think, hey, he's using a shield. You know, he's going to be the king of all meat, meat shields, whatever. But, if you're not paying attention to this thing called defensive ability, you can get crits and just die very quickly. And it's also going to be a chance to increase the chance that you are being hit by an enemy. Next, we've got resistances, and for all of you who don't know what this is, it's just your ability to resist incoming damage types. So you've got different elemental types and physical types that you've got to keep an eye out for. The cap is like 80%, I believe, but that's not really going to matter until you start getting into the other difficulties anyway. So I would plan ahead whenever you're doing your build and keep that in mind, but you don't need to have those stats constantly. Offensive ability is going to be increasing our critical chance to hits. This is great to have because critical hits are going to just hit really hard. For most of us, I hope you understand, a critical hit is just it's your abilities hitting, and there's a percentile chance that it's going to do this thing called a critical hit, which is set up on a multiplier that multiplies that damage by it, and you can set it up in game and see it, and it's basically hitting the enemy much harder. So it's great to do this, and also offensive ability is going to increase your chance to hit enemies as well, which is going to help you out a lot as well. So yeah, just keep that in mind. You have two parts to your skill tree. The passive skill tree, which is unlocked at the bottom, and this just gets a bunch of raw stat, and also unlocks the main abilities above it. So whenever I'm doing a lot of my builds, I normally just put a lot of my points to here, and yeah, that's where I put most of my points whenever I'm doing this. I just dump real heavily into my passives, then I have a bunch of raw stat, and then whatever, but to each their own. So then above that, you've got your main mastery skills that are going to decide, what you want to do with your character. So choose wisely, because this is a part of your build. Moving on into devotion points. Devotion points are part of a large tree that provides mostly passive increases to your stats. You can get offensive ability, defensive ability, and then also some elemental or physical attack damage in there as well. But as you start to branch out more in these trees, you're going to start unlocking these things called celestial powers. And these celestial powers are actually like attached to your abilities, your mastery abilities that you get, and they increase the damage of those, and or give you buffs, and just a whole ton of stuff. So be really careful and really try to plan ahead and build your character wisely, because it's kind of a pain in the butt to level up those devotion skills, if you ask me. So yeah. Now that we covered builds and masteries, we're going to get in and start covering some of the leveling. So as you progress through the game modes offered, you have normal, elite, ultimate, and then you've got the hardcore mode as well. And there's also a veteran mode in normal, but there's really no reward from doing it other than just it being an additional challenge. So going into elite difficulty from normal mode, you're going to face stronger enemies and reduced resistances. You will actually lose 25% resistances to everything except for stun. So that happens there. And then the same thing happens going into ultimate mode. You lose an additional 25%. So in total, 50% reduced resistances. And this becomes a problem if you're not paying attention to these. So keep that in mind. You may need to change some of your mastery points and devotion points to help balance this out a little bit. For new players, there's no direct route I would recommend you go for the leveling. The game's very linear as far as the direction you can go, and moving into some of the newer areas, it gets gated behind quests, so you will have to complete those in order to continue. Making a good build and completing all of the quests is the best way to go, in my opinion. The game can be beat in no time at all if you just focus on the main storyline missions and zerg the game to completion on normal difficulty. However, you are going to miss out on some skill points that you get for your masteries and some attribute points if you don't complete some of these quests. And along with that, I have to mention also bag spaces, which is really big in a looter game. Are you not sure which points to dedicate first when creating a character? You can always take a look at some build guides that other Grim Dawn fans and me have created, and these may help give you an idea on which direction to go. When making a build, just make sure that the gear works with your skills and devotion points you choose, because this will be impactful as you start leveling higher in the game. Also, there's a feature in the game that may help you with filtering out that unwanted gear to find more specific items that you're looking to fit your build. Right here, there's a filter that allows you to choose what items you want to see, and the remaining items that are dropped will not be displayed to you, so you can save time when running around by setting this up in advance. It may take some time and research on your part to find what you want, but as I've said many times, this is your game, and I hope you decide which way to go with your build and what you want. If your build doesn't work out the way you want, simply go back to the spirit guide and redo them. And that covers the basics to leveling and survival in Grim Dawn and the expansions that comes with it. If you like this video, please like, and if I've missed something, leave me a comment for me and everyone else to see so we can help each other out and enjoy this game. If you have any requests for future Grim Dawn builds and guides, please leave them here in the comment section and I will do my best to try them out. This is Destructible, and you have a wonderful day.